Hi, welcome to Cities Skylines. In this video I'm going to show you a few different things you can do in Cities Skylines. Just a brief overview of what there is to do. In options you have a few different things like graphics, where you have all your settings. This will vary depending on what computer you have as to whether you run it on high and very high or on low. And you have gameplay, which is, as you can see here, it tells you everything. It is worth turning on autosave every 10 minutes, especially if you're new to the game. There's key mapping, which is your key bindings. So if you wanted to change the elevation up and down of a road, you can use page up and page down on your keyboard. If you do not have that on your keyboard, you can click the page up or page down in here and then change it to another key. And here we've got audio. You can change your volume for different things, or you've got your master volume here, which if you turn it down, it will turn everything else down, even though it says these are at 100%. And you got MISC, which as you can see here is just to reset everything. And this is just one of my mods that I've got installed. You do not have to install mods if you do not want to. You got credits if you really want to look at credits. This thing down here at the bottom, you do not need to do anything with. You can actually just click the black area and it will minimize it. You do not need to create an account. Over on the left you can see a news feed which comes from Paradox Games. And you have your DLC, shows you what DLCs you've got installed. This DLC is free of charge, so you do not need to pay for it, but all the other DLCs you have to pay for. In Content Manager, this is where you can look at all the mods and all the content that you've got on your game, and you've got your saved games here as well. And these are ones I've got. You will not have all these. And then here you've got your assets, which are basically mods you've installed off Steam or elsewhere. There's nothing in color corrections because I don't have anything. But this is, if you had a color correction mod, this is where it would go. Here you have your various mods, as you saw this one earlier. You saw its settings. But you will have hard mode most likely, and ultimate money, unlimited money I mean, and unlock all. It tells you what each of these does. You do not have to have them on. Styles you may not have, it depends on what one you decide to install. And map themes are just various maps that people have created and you've installed. And Steam Workshop is just what it says. Your Steam Workshop, it shows you what you've got, what mods you've installed from Steam Workshop, and you can unselect them at any time. There are some good ones in there. Tools, you've got a map editor, an asset editor and a theme editor. The map editor is where you create a map. Asset area is where you edit mods that you've got installed, or buildings that you've got. You can only modify them to a certain degree, which is not as good as some modifications for other games, but it's good for any new people. Theme editor just edits the theme of your map. You can have, I'll make a separate video for each of them later. Tools we went into, you got here load game, which if you've got any save games you can load them. You've got new game, which you can use to create a new game. So the base theme for this one is European. This tells you how much of the map you can use to build buildings on. This shows you whether it comes with any of these connections. So you got highway connections, and you got a train connection, ship connection, and plane connection. Here it shows you the amount of water that's on the map, which isn't a lot. It's only about half or a bit less. This shows you the natural resources, if you want to go into that side of things, how much there is of each natural resource. So if you went to a different map, each thing will be different. And the suitable area for building changes as well. And then you press start to start a new game. Just wait for this to load. Obviously, the more mods you have installed, the longer it will take for it to load. This tells you a bit about it. This pop-up. Here you have roads. Yes, it tells you you can build roads. It will pop up this. You can just click the X and that'll get rid of it. Spacebar will pause the game, or you can click the button in the bottom left hand corner here, and it will pause the game, I mean. But it will also play. That thing that popped up was just telling you how to zoom. This is chipper up here in the middle, top middle. It tells you more or less what the citizens want. Tells you how to rotate the camera as well. But yeah, it'll just keep popping up various things as you play, just to tell you how to play. It can be turned off, but you don't have to. You just ignore them. click anywhere, you click the road that you want to build. So there's 4 different types of roads. The last one is highways, then large roads, medium roads, and small roads. Usually you'll just use small roads, and you can use large roads, but this is a highway that you see. So this in this area that the vehicles are travelling on. It will always come with this building area that's marked in white dotted lines. That's the area in which you can build to start with. You can expand that later, that building area, by clicking the icon that looks like a day-night cycle with the world in the center, and it's called areas. And then it will zoom you out to this sort of view, and then if you can expand, it will show you the areas you can expand to. Click off that. Just build a road, just click, and then you can either zoom in or zoom out. It's entirely up to you. Then just click where you want to start the road, and click where you want to end it. That's the basics of building a road. Yes, some roads sometimes will curve if you do it like this. You can also put curves in it by doing this, clicking the curve road button and then taking it out to where however far you want. I want to make a tight curve, so I'll take it in nice and close, and then I can curve the road directly off this other road, like so. And then freeform roads, same sort of thing, but you can make corners. That is a perfect corner there, more or less, because you use that dotted line that you see, and when that's more or less straight, that's a perfect corner. It is entirely up to you, whoever's playing, how they want to build the corners. Yeah, like that, it will not let you build it because it's an invalid shape, it's too tight. And it also crosses over the other road. Because it crosses over the other road, you can't build it. But if you wanted, you can connect it to the road again. Or you can lift it up and make a bridge, which is page up and page down by default. Like so. The elevation step over... Yes, I know the game's paused. Over here, I've just changed to green from white. That tells you it's over in the left-hand corner, roughly. When you go to create a bridge or change the height of a road, the higher it is, the more the elevation it will change it by. So if I have it less, the jumps aren't as big, basically. And if you don't like a road, well, you click over on the right hand corner on the bulldozer, and then you just click the road or thing that you want to want to go back to the center area where the roads are, there's zoning. So this is where you build your city from. You got low density residential, then high density residential. These are the same thing, except different sort of buildings. This has a denser population. This has not so dense population. And to build a low density area or high density area, you look for these, I don't know what you call them, little boxes, and you click, simple as that, and it will, if you got it on, yes, it says to reach milestones, I'll get into that later. If you got it on fill, which is down here in the left hand corner, it will fill up each of these chunks to a certain degree. Like, as you can see, it won't fill that entire chunk up. You have to do it more than once if you want to fill it. Or if you want to just do each little square, you click that button and then click the little squares. Or you can do it as a small brush. So do about 2 squares each. But if you hold it and drag, it'll just continually fill up wherever you drag, providing there's those boxes that you see. Or you can go for a large brush. Same thing again. It's telling you about the economy panel down here, which I'll get into a bit later. And then you have your commercial areas, low and high density. These are grayed out for me because I haven't got everything turned on that way. It's unlocked as soon as I start playing, but you can turn it on that way. As soon as you start playing, you can use whichever one you want. So low density, if you, what's the best way to explain this? As your city gets bigger, as more people come in and build houses, just connect this to a road, that way you can see houses and stuff being built. Oops, change that. This is a one-way road. So you have to connect both, otherwise the vehicles will only travel in whichever direction it's set. Okay, that's done. This down here, the green bar below the zoning and roads, it tells you what your citizens want. There you go, a few buildings have been built. See how this is flashing between a water droplet and a lightning bolt? Means that the house needs power and water. So for power, you click the electricity button, which is across from zoning. And then you've got your power lines, which you, if you have an area, let's just say you have your power station far away from the city, you drag the power line to your power station. I'm just going to use a wind turbine for now. and then you just make sure that it's connected, which it is. If you see this blue area around the turbine, for example, and around these houses, that's the... if you drag like a power line into that area or stick a turbine near the area, if those two areas overlap, for example, when you stick a wind turbine near it, it will produce power for that area. So as your city grows, that blue area will increase. Power lines, same sort of thing. As long as they are in that blue area, they are fine. This tells you up here in the top left hand corner how much electricity is available. Green is good, red is bad. Dark blue means it's active, so the power plant here is active because it's dark blue, and these buildings should turn light blue because they are connected, like so. Before, when they were brown, it means they were disconnected, and when the power lines were black, it means they weren't active. And now for water. You won't have everything you see here in mine because I've got mods, but you will have like this water station, I think it's called, water pumping station. If you stick that just at the edge of a river or a creek, whatever it is, like so, it will start producing water. But you do need to then have power connected to it, and you need to then also use water pipes. So the area that you see in blue around this water pipe that I've got laid, well, they haven't laid yet, but that I'm planning to lay, as I move it around you can see it, that is the area that one water pipe will cover. So if I click here, that will then cover that. They have water and power now, so they're happy. To unselect it, so if you've got something that you got selected and you want to, like this water line for example, and you want to click on something else, or don't want it there but still want to see this area, you right click and that will unselect it. Then you can click on whatever. These arrows in the water show which way the water moves. So the water is moving this way. So you'd want to stick your water drain pipe down here somewhere, away from your water pump, because your water drain pipe causes pollution. Let me stop there, and then you just go back to it with your water pipe, drag your water pipe to either your pump directly or somewhere along your other water pipeline that you've already laid, and there you go, it's connected once you left click. There, you can see how it's got two colours. That means you've got water coming in and pollution going out, basically. The icon here that you see here means that they were after the pollution going out. They'll now be happy. So it's all gone away, means they're happy. They don't want it. This is telling you that there's a demand for industry or office. This tells you that there's a demand for commercial zones, and this tells you down here there's a high demand for residential zone. This is at the bottom in the middle area. I've never done a video like this, so this is pretty new to me. You got your garbage, which you will eventually need to stick on the road somewhere against the road. It will automatically demolish houses if they're in the road. Same with any other structure that you build. If it's in the road, it'll demolish it. The only things that won't get demolished are roads. Here you've got healthcare, so your hospitals and morgues, basically, your cemeteries. There's no actual morgues. And then the place where you burn the bodies, whatever it's called. And then you've got fire departments, so this is your fire. So they put out the fires that you might get. I'll show you a bit more of this later in a different area, in another save game mode. This is your police. The bit where it says reach a population of whatever is telling you how many people you need in your city before you can get police. Same with education. So you got your high school, your primary school, and your university. Transport is your public transport, or boats, your trains, buses, all that sort of stuff. So, don't know if this map has a connection to boats. If it does, it'll be out of the area that we're in, that we can build at the moment. So it means you'll have to expand. Parks and plazas, they make your citizens happy when you build them, but some do take up a large area, so you got to watch that when you're building a city. Everything has to be connected by a road. Unique buildings, they also make your citizens happy. Monuments do the same thing as well. Landscaping, some of it will make your citizens happy, but most of it is just if you want to use it. It is hard to use though, landscaping. At least most of it. Districts, you can create districts if you want. You don't have to. So if you want part of your city to have certain things and not the other part, you can set districts which will do that. Here you got your economy as well. So you can increase how much you're spending on water and power. What is this one with the water drop? Power is the blue icon that's like a lightning bolt. At the moment it's 100%. You can take that all the way up to 150 or all the way down to 50. It's up to you where you have it. You also got loans and taxes. These will also unlock when you build these particular buildings. So if you build a hospital, this will unlock. Here it tells you how much you've got coming in or going out. You do not have to look at this if you don't want to. You do not need to change anything in it unless you want to. On this side, I'm pretty sure it's all what you've got coming in. This is how much you've got going out, so expense. And this is income. So, yeah. if you need help, you just click that. The big question mark. That can help you a bit. There are other videos that will probably go into more areas of this than I will. Here you've got your policies, so if you don't want dogs in your city, you set it in policies, but it does cost you money. Here you've got how much you've got coming in. The red is what I've got coming in, so that's negative, which is bad. You can easily tell when it's good because it'll be green. This is how much you've currently got in your bank. I'm not sure what it looks like if you have unlimited money. Yeah. Here you've got your population and how much of your population is happy. I don't know. I never pay much attention to this. It's only this one I do. This tells you the name of the city, which you can change by clicking up here after you hit that little eye. Tells you how much your population is, how many children, teens, young adults, etc. You don't need to look in here if you don't want to. Tells you how much of each area you've got and how much your average land value is, etc. But you don't have to look at any of that if you don't want to. Here, this shows you this. If you click the lock, it shows you. If you don't have everything unlocked, this shows you how much you're at compared to what you need to unlock this stuff. So your landfills, your medical clinic, elementary school, which is primary, your primary school. But this is American, I think, so that's why it's elementary. Your tax, your loans, all unlock. Also shows you your unique buildings. So when you reach a population of whatever, 850, you'll unlock unique buildings. And then monuments, and that just shows you your achievements that you've got. Yeah. This you'll probably never use, but it's free camera mode, so if you click it, basically just gets rid of everything. You can just move your camera around. If you wanted to get out of free camera mode, all you do is hit escape. ESC on your keyboard. Not much else I can show you in this. Go to a game that I've already started. Oh yeah, I should tell you that this up here, the gear, this is where your pause menu is, or your main menu sort of thing. With this menu you can resume your game if you've paused it. You can, because you're in here. All this does is take you back to the game. It doesn't actually unpause it. Like when I hit space. You can save your game. If you've already got it set up to save every 10 minutes, you probably won't need to do this, but it's always advisable when you go to quit the game just to save it. You can load your game, so this will be when you want to load a saved game. You can choose it. If you've got one, you can choose a custom map theme. Tells you what your city's name is and the base theme, and how much population and your bank balance. So if you wanted to get achievements, you have to disable your mod. You got your city statistics if you really wanted to go into it. You can untick and tick them to see all the different stats. If you're really desperate. So I'll just load this game I've started. I think it's this one. Yeah. No, it's this one down here. 10th of the 12th. Well, it actually should be the 12th of the 10th. Because it's backwards. And that tells you your time. Here you can see this yellowish area around these. That's pollution. Bad. It makes your citizens unhappy. This is a hospital. It's a mod. So you won't have it unless you download the mod. These are my water pumps for supplying the city, everything else. This is a graveyard. It's a mod, that particular one. It tells you how many deceased are stored, and how many hearses are in use. That's all you'd really be looking at, and the upkeep. This is how much it costs you a week. And this tells you it's operating normally. And this is just a description somebody put in for it. This is my sewage treatment plants. They are not the default ones. The default ones go near the water's edge. They're different. These two landfill sites are full. So if you have a look, it says 100% full there. And tells you that there are 0 or 15 garbage trucks in use because they're full. It says no more room. You can tell it has no more room without clicking on it by looking at that logo. That image that flashes. That image, if it flashes on any building, it tells you there's something wrong. Here we have a fire underway, so this building here is on fire. Fire trucks are there to put it out. That fire truck is from a mod. You won't have the volunteer fire department. This here is an abandoned building. So it means the residents have left it. There's no one living there. You can change the name of the building if you want, or just leave it as is. Usually you don't change it unless you want to. You can also change the name of a car if you want. This tells you that the owner is some weird person who is there. So the owner's over here somewhere. See the blue marker on top of that greenhouse? That's where I think he must live. Yeah, that's where he lives. And then he works here, over here at the high school. So he travels a fair way to get to where he works. Tells you that he's also happy. And to close anything like this that comes up, you just hit the X. You click that to go closer to the building and see which building it's talking about. Get a better look at it. Don't need to do that if you don't want to. Here I've got some power lines going across the river. These are my water drain pipes, or sewage pipes, where your sewage goes. As you can see down on this bottom bar again, I've unlocked the garbage and everything. So the green area shows me that the area is covered by the garbage, but it doesn't mean that it's efficient. Just click on this small building. See how this building is a greeny type blue? Means that it's got rubbish building up and it could have more efficiency. These blue buildings mean that they don't have much garbage at all. Brownish building like this one over here is not something you really want if you can help it. So it means you need to build more landfill sites usually, because that's all you'll have. By default it's the landfill site and the incinerator plant. The incinerator plant, as you can see here, it says pollution 100, so it pollutes very bad. It also has noise pollution, which is also bad, so you wouldn't want to build this here in the middle of the city. You would want to build it away from where your residents are. Here you've got a brown building, so he has even more garbage than all the rest of these buildings. As you can see here, this purple vehicle, that's the garbage truck. He's going around and he's collecting all your garbage for you. You'll probably have a few throughout the city. There's another one. And another. The more garbage sites you have, the more trucks you'll have running around your city. You've got your healthcare. So you've got your small little hospital, which is a medical clinic, and you've got your large hospital. As you can see, between the small hospital and the large hospital, there's a difference in how much water, for example, this one uses. This one uses 320 megalitres, I think it is, a week, whereas this one uses 640 megalitres a week. And this one uses 1,440 kilowatts of power a week, whereas this one only uses 640 kilowatts a week. You can also see that the bigger hospital also has more upkeep per week, so you got to pay more a week, and it costs more to build. And the bigger hospital has more patient capacity, which is what you want. So the small hospital / medical clinic has 100, the big one has 500. As you can see here, these buildings are very unhealthy. They're brown. Brown is always bad. You can see how this road isn't bright green. When I stick this building next to it, it becomes bright green. That means it's covering this road. This grey road means that it's not being covered at all. See, if I stick this building here, it would actually cover that road. Here is your fire stations. You only have the firehouse and the fire station by default. The rest of these are all mods. Here you have your police stations. So you got your small one and your large one. These are the only two you'll have by default, unless you download mods. Here you have your primary school, which is an elementary school, your high school, which they call high school, and your university. These are what you'll have by default. See how these places are red? That means they haven't gone to primary school yet. There's no one in primary school there yet. It is covered pretty well. There is a primary school there which is covering this area. That will probably change over time. What you could do with more primary schools, just increase the capacity. But it's entirely up to you. And then you got your transport. Here you can see the underground. I've got some roundabouts that I've got the vehicles travelling on to try and reduce congestion on the roads. If I pause, you can actually see the vehicles moving. Some of these roads are one way, so the vehicles will only travel in one direction. You got your bus depot in transportation, and then once you've placed a bus depot, you can then place bus lines around your city. You've also got your metro, which is your underground railway station. You may be able to go above ground, I'm not certain of that. And then you have your train, ship and plane. So your train will just be train stations that you can add to this railway line that you see over here. You may need to delete some of the train line to place it and then reconnect the train line. Some buildings are like that. So delete the train line, you just click your bulldozer, and once you've got this area unlocked, you just bulldoze however much you need, stick your train line, and it's done. I think that's about it for now.